Thank you so much for inquiring about Garden State Bariatrics. You are taking an important first step in changing your life. Congratulations. We know you've got questions about bariatric procedures. For the next few minutes, we want to answer these questions. Are bariatric procedures safe? Am I eligible for a bariatric procedure? Which procedure is best for me? Will my insurance cover the procedure? How much weight will I lose? How long will I need to recover so I can get back to work? How will a bariatric procedure affect my diabetes and other health issues? Will I be able to eat the foods that I love after the procedure? Let's begin with a very important question. Are bariatric procedures safe?
When you compare somebody who's morbidly obese with comorbidities, diabetes, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, versus, and they get the operation versus somebody, the same person, and doesn't get the operation, survivalship is much better for the cohort or the person who had the operation versus the ones who didn't have the operation.
The surgery itself is quite safe. Actually, 2 years ago, the New England Journal of Medicine did a rather extensive study about this. A couple thousand patients, multiple centers, et cetera, and essentially, without getting technical, came to the conclusion that the surgery is essentially equivalent to having your gallbladder removed and safer than having a hip replacement surgery.
Question 2. Am I eligible for a bariatric procedure?
The criteria for weight loss surgery are pretty straightforward. It's based on something called body mass index. The abbreviation you may see is BMI. If your BMI is above 40, that's 40, then you're a candidate for surgery regardless of whether or not, whatever your medical condition is. If your BMI is less than 35, then you're not a candidate for surgery, again, regardless of your medical conditions. And between 35 and 40 is a bit of a gray zone where it actually depends on your medical condition, and you're only a candidate if you have medical problems such as diabetes, high blood pressure, sleep apnea, heart disease, etc. The BMI calculations are a little complicated, but if you go to my website or really any bariatric website, you just type in your height, type in your weight, and the website will tell you what your BMI is.
Question 3. Which bariatric procedures does Garden State specialize in, and which one is right for me?
The gastric bypass, the gastric sleeve, and the gastric band are the 3 operations. You would have a one-on-one consultation with the doctor, that plus your own research on the internet, and come into our informational session to learn about the different procedures that are available, what they mean and how they would impact your life. And we put our heads together and we make a decision as far as what would be best for you based on your medical profile and what's going to be safe for you also from our standpoint, from the surgeon's standpoint.
Question 4. Will my insurance cover my bariatric procedure?
Most insurances do. However, there are some exclusions, and sometimes it's hard to know. One thing that we do in our office is we will check your benefits for you. Basically, just have to send us a copy of your card, and then we can check. Because sometimes it's a little hard for the lay person to figure out all this insurance stuff, and sometimes even for us as experts, it can be a little hard. But yes, the short answer is most insurances do cover it.
Question 5. How much weight can I expect to lose?
Gastric bypass patients tend, again on average, will lose about 80% to 75% of their excess body weight. And again, when you come in, we kind of discuss with you what your excess body weight is. But for instance, if you're 100 pounds overweight, then it would be 100 pounds. So the bypass about 75% to 80% of your excess body weight. The band around 50% of your excess body weight. And the sleeve is kind of in between around 60 to 65% of your excess body weight. And again, that's on average. Some people do better, some people do worse, but on average, that's what the results are.
Question 6. How long will I need for recovery?
Usually, most people between 1 week to 3 weeks are back to work, and it depends on what you do, the level of activity. People who have desk jobs and don't have aren't doing heavy lifting and things at work may get back a little sooner than somebody who has to have a higher level of activity at work.
Question 7. How will a bariatric procedure affect my diabetes?
The amazing thing about diabetes and bariatric surgery is that essentially we've got a cure for diabetes, I think. Whether or not you use the word cure or just resolve, basically after this surgery, many patients, with the gastric bypass, we're talking about 80 to 90% of these patients no longer take insulin, no longer take pills, don't have to check their sugars, and when they do check their sugars, they're normal. So in my mind, that's a cure, but whatever word you use for it, they're no longer diabetic. You know, and that's an amazing thing. I often say if tomorrow, you know, Merck or one of the big pharmaceutical companies came up with a drug that produced those kinds of results, it would be on the front page of every newspaper in this country and maybe the world. Yet here we have an operation which does those things, produces those results, and a lot of, you know, the general public, most patients, most people don't know, and even a lot of physicians, quite honestly, don't know.
Question number 8. Will I be able to eat the foods that I like after the procedure? We asked Tom Pearson that question. Tom wore a muscle shirt the day we interviewed him near his boat in Bayville. He was up near 400 pounds when he went to Garden State Bariatrics a little over a year ago. He's already lost 135 pounds and he's still going. He feels wonderful. He still loves to eat. He just eats differently.
Instead of getting the 32-ounce prime rib, now I get the queen cut, and I get 4 meals out of a queen cut. I go to the store, to the deli, and I'll order a ham and cheese on the whole wheat. Cut it in quarters, please. And that's 4 meals for me. And I've learned how to do that, and it's just wonderful. I mean, it's just, and everything tastes so much better. There's not a desire to eat more. I mean, I just eat smaller, learn to eat slower, and I enjoy the flavor. Scallops, I never cared for the crab meat and stuff like that. Stuffed mushrooms, crab meat now. I mean, I'm a connoisseur. I used to be a sewer, now I'm a connoisseur. And, you know, it's just unbelievable. People say that they can see my outwardness, like I've gained 25 years because I figure I lost 25 years being the way I was and depressed. This surgery, you can change your life. Look at me. It's amazing. I mean, I just can't say enough. My head is there. It's changed my head. It's changed everything.
Tom Pearson, a great guy with a great story, and there are hundreds and hundreds just like him. Schedule a consultation at Garden State Bariatrics Milburn or Bayville offices today. Here's the contact information for both offices and the web address for Garden State Bariatrics. We will leave it up on the screen for a while so you can grab a pen if you need to. Make the call to Garden State Bariatrics like so many others already have. Reclaim your health. Renew your life.